just kind of see exactly what damage this hurricane landfall so close to us caused.
And Janine, I know you're out there on I-10 west of downtown Lake Charles, and the area is very, very flat, very, very low. Any reports of any storm surge making it up to the interstate?
No, not up to the interstate, but again, there are a lot of inlets, just like Mobile Bay and Pensacola Bay. We have a lot of those inlets here. We did get reports that the storm surge could have been estimated anywhere between 15 and 20 feet in this area. Down in Galveston, they didn't have to worry about the storm surge because they were on the western side of the storm relative to landfall. But Stephanie Abrams was there. A lot of other problems, though: fires, floods.
That's right, Janine, and as a matter of fact, we've also seen some power lines down, and as you were mentioning, out of power. We are out of power here as well. It's actually a little bit spotty, as a matter of fact, on Galveston Island. You go for a block, you see that the street lights are on, and then it's dark for several blocks. And then you see one block where there's some lights on, and then it's dark for several blocks. So we are seeing spotty power outages here. Again, street lights have been knocked down, also some power lines, obviously. And where the west end of the island, where there's no seawall, we have seen some flooding, but nothing too significant, of course, relative to where Janine is. Really not a whole lot of flooding. Now, there's also small trees down and barricades and trash cans. That's basically what we are seeing around town. And small trees blown over. That's the basic situation here. The highest wind gust we got was 62 miles per hour. That was before the reporting station stopped reporting. As everyone keeps mentioning, of course, these reporting stations, they get knocked out. So we could have seen gusts higher than that, but right now we are seeing the wind sustained around 20 miles per hour, according to my anemometer. And I went and took a wind observation on the beach, and I got a gust up to 29 miles per hour, so still pretty gusty, enough to kind of jolt you. And as everyone's been mentioning, those winds are shifting around, and we're getting more of a west wind. And with that said, Bill and Kelly, that water never came ashore here on the Gulf side of the island. It continues to be pushed out. I was just down at the beach, and you can still walk several hundred yards out.
Yeah, Stephanie, I understand the surge was actually from the bay, not from the Gulf. But what can you tell us? What do you know about the fires out there?
Well, that one fire, that house fire, we still don't have a whole lot of information. We've been doing our best to get information, but as you can imagine, it's tough in these types of situations. There was a power pole that was down. We cannot confirm that that is what caused the fire. Now, being in these storms, you see transformers blow as well, and maybe a transformer caused that problem, maybe there was a lightning strike, or maybe it was the power line. We do not know at this hour, but it was a raging fire, and you can just imagine the wind blowing it around. I have to tell you, we were standing here thinking, man, what is on fire? It smells terrible. Smoke filled the sky here, and I actually called one of our producers who was out shooting some video, and I said, do you know where the fire is? He said, we're right here. It's unbelievable. They couldn't get too close, obviously, because they were worried about those winds shifting, but they were there, and unfortunately, that house was actually built in 1905 after the hurricane of 1900 that struck Galveston. So very sad to see that something that was built so long ago has been destroyed. And as a matter of fact, Bill and Kelly, the hotel that we're at right now was actually built after the hurricane as well, completed in 1911 to try to boost the economy after, of course, that hurricane devastated Galveston.
Did you say you lost power at your hotel, Steph, or are you okay there?
We did lose power at our hotel, but again, I walked out the door and I could see some lights off in the distance, so it's definitely spotty here on the island.
All right, Steph, thank you very much. We'll check back with you a little bit later.
Meanwhile, Kelly, power outages and flooding and wind damage, all big issues as we see Hurricane Rita continue that relentless race across parts of western Louisiana and Texas. ABC's Hari Saravasan is live this morning in New Orleans. And Hari, we saw those levees flooding and breaking yesterday. What's the situation out there this morning?
Good morning, Bill. It hasn't gotten much better. We've seen some live pictures of it from earlier this morning as well as last night. Basically, the water keeps pouring over and through some of the breaches in the levees that were repaired earlier. Now, none of the major ones. The large one that was the 17th Street Canal, we're hearing that that one's fine. The London Street Canal was also fine. But down in the 9th Ward, one of the hardest hit areas, that was really where you saw a lot of these people being plucked off their roofs, that's the area that's been hit again. The area that they had patched.
Really, some areas that you thought would be hardest hit kind of